Coach Prime will certainly have an incredible last memory of taking the field with his sons, Shador and Shiloh, here at Folsom Field at home.
Welcome back. So you just saw that incident right there of when Travis Hunter and his fiancée at the time had a little tiff on the sideline at the end of a game where I think she was talking to him about talking to some cheerleaders. Now, by itself, that's just a normal thing that young people go through. I think some people like to call them kids, but those are actually adults. Those are young adults. They're in their 20s. So that's something that young people go through that just doesn't normally get caught on camera. So that started off a whole circus of events to where people started to pry into his life. Because before this, I think he's been going out with this woman for 5 years. Nobody's talked about her when he was at Jackson State, or nobody's talked about him, about his relationship up until now. But when they caught that on camera, it started this whole media thing about Travis Hunter and his fiancée. Is she a gold digger? Is she getting over on him? And it started this whole media firestorm where people started getting heavily invested in his life and how he's been getting treated. Now, if you don't know who Travis Hunter is, he's a generational talent on the college football field. He just won the Heisman Trophy. He's a two-way player, which is rare in college football, and he's above average on the offensive side and on the defensive side. And he just set the record. He won about 7 college awards. So he's a very good generational talent. He's going to be a high draft pick, make millions of dollars. By the way, since it's the NIL in college now, he's already rich, but he's going to get richer when he gets in the NFL. So the scrutiny started when people saw this. It was just a little tiff on the sideline. People were like, why isn't she happy for him? Let me tell you something. Young people do stuff like that. It just happened to get caught on camera. So I didn't think nothing of it. I know a lot of people brought it up and they were like, oh, he should leave her. And I didn't think nothing of it. Then you get another incident. The one where he's doing the Heisman and he wins and she doesn't get up and you see Dion kind of touch her and stuff. And I kind of brushed that off a little bit too, just because, she's young. She don't know anything. I don't know if anybody sat her down and was like, hey, look, if he wins, which I'm sure was a foregone conclusion that he was going to win, but I'm sure somebody didn't come up to her and say, hey, if he wins, make sure you jump up. Some people don't know what to do in those situations, They don't. She probably froze like a deer in the headlights. Maybe she started being self-conscious because people were talking about her online, So now you start second-guessing yourself. I don't know. But I didn't make too big of a deal of that also. Then you had the one where he's doing the meet and greets and taking all the pictures and stuff, and it looks like she's having an attitude. I didn't think too much of that either, just because she's asking him, what do you want me to do? Personally, I had a fiance or something and I was that type of guy, I wouldn't take her to the meet and greet because it's going to be hours of me signing autographs or taking pictures. What is she supposed to do? She's not this celebrity person they're there to see, so she's just going to be sitting there the whole time. Probably get bored, So I wouldn't have took her there. Sometimes, when you're young, they probably want to come with you. But like I said, you're going to get bored watching him for hours just sign autographs and talk to people. So I just chalked that up to a person just being bored and annoyed. That's normal young people stuff.
Okay, I'm going to be addressing all this stuff online because I'm tired emotionally and mentally of seeing people try to make me out to be a person that I am not. But what's a testimony without a test of faith? So I'm going to start from the very beginning with this my type thing. I got permission from Travis to say these things because these are previously things I didn't want online. But I'm going to tell y'all the full story just so y'all know. So Travis, when he first ever DM'd me, when we first met, I said I left him in my DM for 2 months, and people said, oh, she left him in his DM until she figured out who he was. That is not true at all. The real reason Travis sat in my DM for 2 months is because he DM'd me when he had a girlfriend, and her name was in his bio, so I instantly knew he had a partner. So I exited the message, and he sat there until he was single. I don't do home wrecking. I'm not a side piece. I don't stand for any of those things. I support women, so I would never do that to another woman because I would never want it done to me. So I ignored him until he was single. That's the real reason he sat in my DM.
Okay, let me stop it right there. There's so many things that's wrong. Start out so wrong with what she was saying. Okay, so she says she has permission for him to say these things, which if she did, Travis, please, please get a PR person. Okay, so she starts off and says, she left him. He wasn't her type because he was a cheater. Basically, he was a cheater. He had a girlfriend when he talked. Why would divulging that information be so much better? I would prefer that you didn't say anything. So now it just looks like you're throwing him under the bus, or he's agreeing with you throwing him under the bus to take some heat off of you, which isn't a good thing. He doesn't need any heat on him right now. What, he's supposed to be public enemy number one now, or a bad person? Basically, I said he wasn't my type because he was a cheater. And that really doesn't give credence to what she's saying about not being a gold digger, because basically it was, hey, he wasn't my type because he was a cheater, but then somehow something magically changed my mind to like him. Man, I wonder what that was. But I'm just saying, that doesn't help you out by throwing him under the bus and saying he was a cheater, that's why he wasn't your type. But because then it raises more questions, because how did he become your type? If that was off the table for you, I don't get with guys that are cheaters. But then all of a sudden now I'm with him. That kind of plays into the gold digger part. I just wasn't a good. I'm just saying that wasn't good. A good explanation. It didn't help a lot, and plus it kind of paints him in a little bit of a bad light. And I don't know if he thought that was going to take the heat off of her or anything, but it raises more questions than not, because now it looks like, hey, I'm with him because he has money. Basically, I didn't like him because he was a cheater, but somehow something magically changed my mind. Okay, so she further goes on to explain that she's just with him because he's a great, wonderful guy. So I guess money didn't have anything to do with it. But then she goes on to address what happens on the field. The first incident I showed you on the field. And I'm not sure if I believe what she's saying, because it seems kind of convoluted. But I'm going to let you listen to what she has to say.
Was at the game after they just won like their last game. People thought I was upset with him celebrating with cheerleaders. I don't know where that came from, because he never celebrated with cheerleaders. So that I don't know where that started, but that's not what I said. But what y'all didn't see before the clip, me and him were talking. We had already interacted. I had already said congratulations. I had already kissed him over the fence that we couldn't get through. So the real reason why I was mad is because the security, and you can ask any of the family members who was actually there, they didn't want no one to storm the field, so they had 1,000 security people holding everyone back. But the people in the field were like, let the family down, like the family can come down. So everyone was going back and forth. I was arguing with the security guard because he wouldn't let no family through. But they let the cheerleaders on the opposing team get through the fences. So I was like, so when I finally got down to the field, that's why I told Travis, like, he had already seen it. I had already congratulated him. We had already spoke, got on the field. And then I was upset because I had just finished arguing with somebody.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there again. Okay, so what she's saying is, okay, they weren't letting people in. She was mad at the security guard. I can understand that. That's understandable. And I can see you were mad that the cheerleaders on the other side got in, and that's what you were saying. But at the same time, when the cameras catch you with them, it doesn't seem that you're mad at the security or anybody. He's trying to kiss you. He's excited on camera, and you're pulling away from him, and you got a mad face. So people are going to interpret it that way. That's what you got to look at. Now, what she's saying might be true, and she might have been mad at that. But when the camera catches you in time on the field, it's him excited and happy. He's trying to hug you, kiss you. You give off of totally attitude, and it looks like you're mad at him, which it does look like you're mad at him. You're pulling away from him. I don't understand why you would be mad at him or pulling away from him when you're clearly mad at security guards or something, unless you didn't think that he's mad enough, or you didn't think he was mad enough for you. You know, that's what it looks like. Instead of you addressing that, you're just trying to explain away something, but you're not really addressing why the people were having an issue with you. She just kind of said, hey, look, I congratulated him before the cameras came down. That's fine. You can congratulate him for that. But when the cameras were showing you, he's excited, you're very mad in the face, and he's trying to kiss on you. It looks like you're pulling away, and that's why that started, which look, people have fights and things of that nature, so I didn't take too much from that when that whole incident happened, because we don't know what's happening. Now, people did lip read and hear her say cheerleaders, so naturally people thought she was mad about him celebrating with some cheerleaders or something, which may or may not have happened. And like she's saying, she was just mad that the cheerleaders got let in, but the family didn't get let in on the field, but the opposing people's cheerleaders got in on the field. So that could be a possible thing. I don't know. It's probably all just blown out of proportion. Okay, so she rambles on a little bit more in the video. We're not going to get into all that. She talks about the Adidas things and says that basically she was just sitting there and asked him where he wanted her to go. She had been sitting there all day, which is what I pretty much assumed. She was sitting there all day. And then she goes on to say about the awards ceremony, how she just, at one point she does say she didn't want to get in on the camera. She didn't want to be seen on the camera, but you are his fiance. Get up, get in the camera. I mean, and she addresses that why he hugged her first, which I don't understand why people had a problem with him hugging her before his mother. That's his fiance. She said he was just going down the line, which is a plausible explanation. I don't understand why people were mad. That's his fiance. He can hug her and then hug his mom. Or, some people might say, oh, he should hug his mom first. But then it would have been weird to walk right past her and hug his mom, then come back and hug her too. So he was just going down the line, which is cool. I feel bad that she had. I don't think her video was good because it did more hurt with her saying he was a cheater and stuff. They could have kept that out. They could have got a good PR team. Please, when you have money, he's got NIL money. He has money. And when you get money and you get a fiance and all that stuff, and you have family, get a good PR team. Don't do rambling videos because sometimes you overshare. And I think that's her biggest issue right now. And I hate that for them because it's just a young couple. And I hate that she's oversharing. And so people are going to pick apart and analyze everything you say. And they're going to find fault in it because you're oversharing. So yes, people are going to find fault in you saying he's a cheater. You shouldn't have said that. That wasn't a good thing. But she doesn't know. She's young. She's just trying to get herself out of a hole because she feels that people are attacking her. But this is the scrutiny that you're going to have to get used to when you're going with a generational talent, when you're going with an athlete like that. I can understand. I see him getting mad at people online himself. He's going to have to get used to that too. People are going to talk about you and they're going to talk about your girl because you are a celebrity now. Celebrities go through different things. And you got Dion there. Talk to Dion about it. He went through the same thing. He was a big superstar. He was a generational talent. He played baseball and football. Ask him about it. He went through a lot of stuff. I think they're just a young couple. They're going to have to navigate through this. I don't like that she's oversharing just a little bit because it makes him look bad, especially it came out now that she said he used to just drive her to parties and sit outside in the car for hours while she partied doing Lord knows what in the parties. That's not a good look on him either. It just kind of seems like, I'm sorry, that's stuff that shouldn't be shared. It kind of paints him in kind of I don't want to say a simp, but I don't know anybody who drives their woman to college parties or types of parties and just sits out in the car while and I understand it probably to his dedication as an athlete, he probably doesn't party like that. And he probably doesn't drink like that because he's all about being an athlete, which is a good thing. But it just doesn't sound right when you say that, like, hey, he sat out in the car for hours while I partied and had a good time. Now it just looks like, I don't know, people can get ideas for that. But I wish the best for them. I do think it is getting blown out of proportion. And I don't know, if she's a gold digger or not, it doesn't matter. Look at all these young athletes. Look at the Zion Williams and all these guys. They're going to get with who they want to get with. If the lady takes their money, if they have to pay alimony, if they had to pay child support, if they had to do anything, that happens with these young guys. And the biggest thing you got to take away from it is this is a different generation. These guys don't care. You see Travis is lashing out at all these other guys that's saying stuff, athletes or Shannon Sharp or anybody or Godfrey or any of these guys who say something about him and his girlfriend. Those guys don't listen to you. These young guys don't listen. It's a young guy with money. He's already rich. He's not going to listen to what people say online about him and his girlfriend. Because when you're young, you got to bump your own head. So hopefully I'm pulling for him if they go on with their relationship and they get married, have children. Hopefully they have a good family and they stay together for a long time. And if they don't, and it turns into something crazy where she just runs off and he has to pay a whole bunch of alimony or child support, then of course a lot of people are going to celebrate about that. Like, hey, we were right. I hope people aren't right. I hope he does have a great relationship. But my thing is, when you're young and rich and you got money, maybe you should slow down, have a little fun first, and then go get married. But that's just me. Anyway, that's just my little take on this whole little saga that's been going on about Travis Hunter and his girlfriend or fiance. I just feel bad that she's stuck in the middle of this. But like I've been saying the whole time, get a PR team. Get a PR team. She don't have to say anything. Just go ahead and do her own thing and have fun. The only other bad thing I can say about it, unless this is a PR stunt on her behalf itself. Maybe she's doing all these things to get her brand up. Who knows? You know, because people talking about you, who really talks about the athlete's girlfriend? Nobody. But if I have a couple of incidents, now I'm known. Now she's known, and everybody's talking about her. She's getting in the news cycle because some people say any publicity, whether it's good or bad, is good publicity. Now you're talking about her. We're talking about her more than any other, because do you know about any of the other college athletes? Like all the guys that were finalists in the Heisman. Does anybody talk about any of their girl? Do they have girlfriends? Did anybody talk about any of these guys' girlfriends? No. Nobody's talking about none of their girlfriends. But we're talking about Travis Hunter's girlfriend. So maybe this could just be a whole big PR stunt by her to get her name out there and get brand deals. Who knows? I hope not. But it could be. And at the same time, it's kind of a little bit ingenious if it is, because she can get brand deals and stuff from that. Even if you hate her or love her, you're still going to watch her videos. You're still going to, because media now is all about the clicks. So either if you love her or hate her, infamy gets you a lot of clicks. Nah, I don't think it's like that, but it could be. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Till next time.